The market was alive with noise and color, but all eyes were on Nneka's food stall. Her dishes were the talk of the town. People from far and near lined up daily, eager to buy her famous soups and snacks. No matter how expensive her food is, they are always eager to buy it, and they never seem to get enough of her food. What they didn't know was her secret. Late at night, Nneka always mixed a small amount of her menstrual blood into her food. It wasn't magic, it was her secret weapon to having plenty of customers. One afternoon, a boy named Chidi bit into a steaming meat pie from her stall. It was delicious, but something about the taste felt wrong. He couldn't explain it, but as he walked home, he felt uneasy. The flavor lingered on his tongue, and for reason he couldn't understand, he wanted more. Chidi couldn't stop thinking about Nneka's food. His family bought it every market day, and his mother Ugochi always praised its flavor. Nneka has the hands of a goddess, she said. Her food is a blessing. But Chidi was suspicious. Why was everyone so drawn to her cooking? One evening, he decided to stay behind after the market closed. Hiding behind a wooden cart, he watched as Nneka cleaned up. She walked quickly, packing her pots and pans. Everything seemed normal, but Chidi couldn't shake the feeling that something was hidden behind her calm exterior. Whispers about Nneka's food spread quietly through the market. Vendors who couldn't afford her meals joked that she must be using magic. Her food makes you forget your problems, said Ezenwa, a fruit seller. It's like a spell. Chidi overheard this comment and paid attention. He noticed how traders who ate from her store seemed almost enchanted. They would laugh and chat with her, even giving her extra money. One day, a clothes merchant named Ifoma sold half of her goods just to afford Nneka's soup. Chidi's suspicions grew. What made her food so irresistible? Determined to uncover Nneka's secrets, Chidi returned to the market late one night. The stores were empty and the streets were dark, but a faint light flickered from Nneka's corner. Peeking from behind the barrel, Chidi saw her stirring a large pot. She poured a thick red liquid into the stew, whispering softly as she stirred. Chidi's heart raced. The liquid looked like blood. He nearly gasped but covered his mouth in time. He stayed behind, hidden, watching as she continued to cook. The air filled with an aroma that made his stomach rumble despite his fear. The next morning, Chidi couldn't eat. His mind replayed the scene from the night before. Could it really be blood? He wondered. But if so, where did she get it from? He looked at his mother, who was happily eating one of Nneka's meat pie. He wanted to say something, but was too afraid. At the market, Nneka smiled warmly at him as usual. Chidi, come and eat, she called. Hesitantly, he approached her stall. She handed him a pastry. For you, she said, her voice sweet. Chidi forced a smile, but the thought of what might be inside made him nauseous. Chidi decided to test his theory. He watched as customers ate Nneka's food. The reactions were the same: smiles, laughter, and an almost unnatural joy. One trader, Okoro, handed her triple the price without a second thought. Another woman, Ada, called her food heaven on earth. Chidi took a bite of the pastry Nneka had given him. As always, it was delicious, but this time he noticed something strange. A warm feeling spread through his chest, and for a moment he felt an overwhelming desire to praise Nneka. He shook his head and threw the rest away, frightened by the strange sensation. Chidi decided to tell his best friend Obiageli about what he had seen. Nneka is putting something strange in her food, he said. Obiageli frowned. What do you mean? Chidi hesitated, then whispered, I think it's blood. Obiageli's eyes widened. That's impossible, she said. Why would she do that? Chidi shook his head. I don't know, but I saw her pouring it into her pot. We have to find out the truth. The next day, Chidi and Obiageli observed the market carefully. They noticed how Nneka's stores seemed to control the atmosphere. Vendors who ate her food were unusually cheerful, while those who couldn't afford it seemed bitter and withdrawn. It's like she owns the market, Obiageli whispered. Chidi nodded. The more they watched, the more they realized how much power Nneka's food had over the people. It wasn't just about the taste, it was something deeper, something strange. That night, Chidi and Obiageli decided to spy on Nneka again. They waited until the market was empty. They crept toward her stall. As expected, she was cooking. They watched as she poured the same red liquid into her pot and whispered softly. This time they heard her voice. May they love me. May they need me. May they never leave me. Obiageli grabbed Chidi's arm. This is wrong, she said. We have to tell someone. But Chidi wasn't sure who would believe them. The next morning, Chidi approached Nneka's store. What is in your food? He asked. Nneka smiled, but there was a flicker of surprise in her eyes. Only the best ingredient, she said. I saw you last night, Chidi said, his voice trembling. Nneka's smile faltered. You are mistaken, she said, her tone colder now. But Chidi stood his ground. I know what you are doing, he said, and I won't keep quiet. Nneka leaned in close, her warm smile gone. You are just a boy, Chidi. You don't understand what you think you have seen. Leave it alone. Chidi's heart pondered, but he didn't back down. You are fooling everyone and it is wrong, he said, his voice trembling. Nneka tilted her head, studying him. Be careful, Chidi, she said quietly. Curiosity can lead to trouble. Shaking, Chidi hurried away. Obiageli was waiting nearby, and when he told her what had happened, she looked scared. What if she tries to hurt you? She asked. Chidi shrugged, but deep down he was terrified. Over the next few days, Chidi noticed something odd. Nneka's customer seemed even more loyal. Traders who once avoided her stall were now lining up for her food. People who had nothing to spare suddenly found ways to buy her meals. Meanwhile, Chidi felt like an outsider. He avoided eating from her stall, and the more he watched, the more isolated he felt. Even Obiageli's mother, who rarely visited the market, came home one evening with a pot of Nneka soup. It's worth every penny, she said with a dreamy smile. Chidi and Obiageli needed help. They decided to confide in an older trader, Mama Ngozi. Mama Ngozi sold yams near Nneka's store. Mama Ngozi had always been kind to them, and she didn't seem as enchanted by Nneka's food as the others. When Chidi told her what he had seen, Mama Ngozi listened carefully. "You are brave to speak up," she said, "but this is dangerous. People love Nneka too much. They won't believe you." Obiageli looked worried. "Then what do we do?" she asked. Mama Ngozi sighed. "We need proof." That night, with Mama Ngozi's encouragement, Chidi and Obiageli sneaked back to the market. This time, they weren't just watching. They planned to take a sample of the red liquid. Hiding in the shadows, they waited for Nneka to leave her store. When she stepped away to fetch water, Chidi crept forward and grabbed a small bottle of the liquid from her table. His hands shook as he handed it to Obiageli. "Let's go," she whispered, and they ran into the night. The next morning, Chidi and Obiageli showed the bottle to Mama Ngozi. "What is this?" Obiageli asked. Mama Ngozi examined the liquid carefully, sniffing it. Her face twisted in disgust. "This is blood," she said, her voice low. "Human blood." Chidi felt his stomach turn. "How can we prove it?" he asked. Mama Ngozi thought for a moment. "We will take it to the village healer. He will know what to do." The village healer, Papuche, was an elderly man with sharp eyes and a calm demeanor. When they showed him the bottle, he frowned deeply. "Where did you get this?" he asked. When Chidi explained, Papuche's expression darkened. "This is dangerous," he said. "It's not just blood, it's a human's menstrual blood. It's mixed with herbs meant to control the mind. Anyone who eats this will feel a strong attachment to the one who made it." Obiageli gasped. "She's controlling the whole market," she said. Papuche nodded, "and it will only get worse." With Papuche's help, Chidi, Obiageli and Mama Ngozi came up with a plan. They would sneak in at night and make a video of Nneka putting the red liquid in the pot and then confront her in front of the entire market. Papuche would bring the bottle and explain what it contained. "You must be brave," Papuche told Chidi. "She will try to deny it, but if we work together, the truth will come out." Chidi nodded, though his hands were clammy with fear. Later that night, the four of them sneaked into where Nneka was preparing her soup ahead of the market day. They saw her bring out a small pad from a small bag. She squeezed the contents into a bottle and then poured some of it into her boiling pot of stew while chanting some incantations. Mama Ngozi made sure she captured everything on her phone. They quickly left the place before she noticed them. On the market day, the group waited until Nneka's stall was crowded. Then Papuche stepped forward, holding the bottle. "People of the market," he called, his voice strong. "You are being deceived." Nneka's customer turned to look at him, confused. "This woman," Papuche said, pointing at Nneka, "has been using her menstrual blood to control you." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Nneka's face remained calm, but her eyes flickered with something dark. Nneka laughed softly. "What nonsense," she said. "Papuche, I respect you, but this is an insult." But when Papuche brought out the phone and played the video for the crowd, the video confirmed his claims. The crowd murmured in shock. "It's true," Mama Ngozi said. "She's been using this to make us loyal to her." Nneka's calm mask cracked. You don't understand, she cried. I only wanted to survive. This market is ruthless. The crowd turned against Nneka, shouting in anger and disgust. Some traders demanded she leave the market immediately. Others wanted her brought before the village chief for judgment. Chidi watched as Nneka packed her things, her shoulders slumped. Despite everything, he felt a pang of pity for her. She had been wrong, but she was also desperate. In the weeks that followed, the market slowly returned to normal. People still talked about Nneka's food, but the spell was broken. Chidi and Obiageli knew they had done the right thing, even if it had been frightening. The truth, they realized, was worth fighting for.